You're listening to a download from the outdoorstation.co.uk.
Number 316.
Hello, welcome back to another podcast here on the Outdoor Station. And once again, I have to start by apologising for the tardiness of these podcasts. I'm doing the best I can. However, like everybody else in the business community at the moment, we've had to sit back and analyse certain aspects of our activities in the business community and juggle a few things based on that. And start to make, perhaps lay down a few plans for us on Backpacking Light. And that takes priority over the Outdoor Station. Having said that, we are still committed to producing more and more podcasts, possibly even more still once the time has been released. And hopefully we'll get back on track and get back into our regular routine of producing a few more. We've got... Well, here we are now, February, and there's a whole line of shows, forthcoming shows and events that we'd like to attend and record some interviews, a wide, varied variety of things, really, for all interests. We've got the big camera, the Focus show, up at the NEC at the beginning of March. End of February, we've got the caravan and camping, and now sort of a backpacking show at the NEC. It's always traditionally been the caravan and camping show, and I have been for the last few years interviewing some of the stands there, some of the Ramblers clubs and so on. But predominantly, it's always been the larger sort of family caravans and such, which is interesting, but not necessarily the self-powered travel market that we're looking at on the Outdoor Station. However, I noticed Terra Nova and a few other people are going to be there, so it'll be worth seeing to visit and see what that's like. I've spoken to a few people about the outdoor show down at Excel, where it combined with the cycling show and the boat show, and I think on the whole the general feedback, certainly looking on Outdoors Magic and on some of the various forums around, was pretty poor, I have to say. I think most people into the outdoors and backpacking in particular are probably very surprised that there was a show really in January aimed at that sort of activity, because it's sort of pretty low on your list of priorities at that stage. I think we're all paying off our credit card bills and just trying to keep going and be cheerful in the dark nights. So it didn't surprise me that it wasn't as successful as all the hype would have us believe. Having said that, best of luck to them. I'm sure they'll put more effort into it next year. And of course, it's a reflection of the economy generally at the moment. Now, talking of the economy and things generally at the moment, in this podcast, I've picked up picked up's not the right word. I had reserved a little edited piece which had been done by Beth, our daughter, when she was over in Thailand last year, on how to haggle. How to haggle in Thailand. Well, generally how to haggle, I suppose, but I thought it might be interesting to people to hear it take place in a Thai market, in one of the biggest Thai markets, the weekend market as they call it, in Bangkok. The people, anybody that's been there will know it is absolutely huge and a fascinating experience just for a day out, let alone if you buy anything. So that's quite interesting. And the other thing that I've also gathered was we went recently to a traditional event that dates back to Saxon times, Wassailing. Now, this is where celebration is given to the apple tree. Thanks for the fruits, particularly the cider apple trees. Thanks for the fruits and the food and the drink that it supplied, to something to scare away the evil spirits and to wake the tree up for the new year. This normally takes place at night. I don't know why it takes place at night time, but the event normally takes place at night, and I've always sort of wanted to go. Anyway, cutting a long story short, Clive's Fruit Farm, which is a small family business just outside Upton-on-Severn in Worcestershire, they work very, very hard at trying to create local country events associated with their activities, and fair play to them. It's a very, very difficult time at the moment, like all rural businesses and communities, but they decided to put on a Wassailing event during the day so families and youngsters could come along and see what it was all about. So we have a live reporting, or as near as damn it, from a Wassailing event. Now, let's think about it. The last sort of podcast I did like this was before Christmas, and I did have a sort of semi-rant, really, a bit of conversation, a bit of an open thought on technology and the way that I did the gist of it being, it used to be something I got really excited about because it made life easier, and now that it's actually turned into a bit of a stick that we're sort of generally beaten with, that we must be plugged in, online, switched on, and all the rest of it to make everybody else's lives easier, in mainly people who are data gathering, the government, the banks, and so on. Anyway, well, I had a great amount of response from that, first of all. I must have had well over 30 emails, and every single one agreed with the sentiments that I was talking about at the time. And thank you very much for those. And I was really looking forward to reading out the key ones, which I'd put to one side, the key ones in this sort of next following podcast. However, having said that, technology again lets you down just when you start to rely on it. And at Christmas time, thankfully, when we were closed, we had a major hard drive failure on the office computer where all those emails were stored. I hadn't printed them out, stupidly, and sadly I lost the lot. So for everybody that's listening to this that wrote in, thank you very much indeed for doing so. And I just want to say that it was reassuring that it wasn't just me that feels this way about technology. And it's encroaching everywhere we go now, you know. The outdoors people will have obviously be fully aware of the GPS systems. GPS is now on the phones. Now, of course, the Spot system is being promoted and pushed fairly heavily by numerous people. I notice it's been mentioned quite a few times by the organisers of the TGO Challenge. And I wonder, does this start to make you fear things? Does it start to make the outdoors much more fearful place? Yeah, you know, there was always that conversation, there was always that thought, wasn't there, about are you going out with a mobile phone? Never needed one, and then all of a sudden everybody had to have one, and you felt safer because you had a mobile phone. Do you feel even more safe now that you invest in a Spot system? And for the people that don't know what a Spot system is, it's basically an emergency panic button, I suppose. It's got two buttons on it. One button that sends a signal to a satellite. The satellite sends it to a website. The website sends it to an email address, and it basically contains the message of, here I am, gives a GPS location, and I'm fine. And the other button is, help, I'm in the brown sticky doo-doo stuff, get me out of here as soon as possible, I am a celebrity. And that sends another message which goes through to the whole system, and then sends a message to somebody, hopefully the rescue services, to pick you up. And to be fair, the last time I heard about it being used in anger, as it were, was on the TGO Challenge. I think it was 2 years ago now, 2009, where somebody had a quite serious... I can't remember what it was now, I'm sure, but it was definitely life-threatening situation, and he was remote, and the whole system worked pretty well. So obviously it has a place, technology, but you know, do you feel more nervous going out without it, or actually more liberated? Personally, I'd rather feel liberated, I think, and if it all goes horribly wrong, well, at least you die doing what you really love. Or is that a bit too negative? I don't know. Anyway, I've got a few feedback comments here. No, in fact, I'll come on to those later. Let us go wassailing. So come and join me at the end of January in the heart of England, in Worcestershire, at Clive's Fruit Farm, website.co.uk, just outside Upton on Severn, which has a fantastic map shop, which I must go and interview, and for wassailing and what it's all about.
Can you all hear me? Yes. Hard luck. The ceremony we're about to perform, ladies and gentlemen, has gone on in various parts of England, fruit-growing parts, for many, many hundreds of years. Wassailing comes from the ancient languages. It's also called apple howling in Kent. And what we want to do is venerate the gods of the trees. We want to give back something we've taken from them, and we want to honour them, and we want to scare away the evil spirits.
Are there any evil spirits here?
Apart from him. First thing we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, and children, we're going to decorate the tree with ribbons and toast. So we're giving the birds the toast, and we're honouring the tree by decorating it. So if you'd like to come forward with your bits of toast and hang them on any convenient branch. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are honoured to have Mr. Alan Whitbread. He's going to regale your swampy tree with a traditional wassail song. It has a refrain, which doesn't mean you don't join in, you don't refrain. You join in with the words at the appropriate point.
Here we go then. Now, the little song which goes back hundreds of years. All together, hundreds of years. And the song was sung in the villages of England. Hooray!
Hooray! King George.
And it was sung, this song was mostly sung inside the farmhouse actually, because it involves children. Hooray! So, this song was sung by children in the farmhouse, and it was sung to venerate the wassail and to venerate the trees as part of the wassail. Right, here we go then. You'll know which is the chorus because it changes speed. Now you might not get it the first time, the chorus, but you will the second because you'd have heard it once. Then I'm going to sing it all, and at the end I'll also sing the first verse again as a repeat. You can all join that. Okay, are you ready? Yes. Are you quiet? Here we come a-wassailing among the leaves of green. Here we come a-wassailing, so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you and to your wassail tune. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year. Chorus again. Love and joy come to you and to your wassail tune. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year. We are not daily beggars who come from door to door. We are your neighbours' children who you have seen before. Love and joy come to you and to your wassail tune. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year. God bless the master of this house, likewise the mistress too. and all the little children that round the table go. Love and joy come to you and to your Wassailing, and God bless you and send you a happy new year, and God send you a happy new year. First verse all together. Here we come a-wassailing among the leaves of green. Here we come a-wassailing, so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you and to your Wassailing, and God bless you and send you a happy new year, and God send you a happy new year.
And now we've got two more things to do, ladies and gentlemen. We have to give back to the tree some of its produce. And we have to scare the devils away. And we're going to run these together in a seamless presentation. What we're going to do is we're going to pour some cider, what a waste, over the roots. And then I'm going to recite the poem that is dedicated to, derived from this farm. And then we'll have 3 cheers for the apple tree. And then we frighten the devils away. And I want all of you with things to shake, rattle and bang. When we've done hip hip hooray 3 times, I want you to make as much noise as you can. And shout and stamp and everything else. So, I'll be starting it. Traditionally, it's the master of the house. And I can't see him here now. I'll have to have the mistress of the house. Say, Mrs. Clive, would you like to pour back a little bit of the marvellous cider these trees have given us on its roots or wherever? Hey! Here's to the old apple tree, whence thou mayest bud, whence thou mayest blow, whence thou mayest bear apples, hatfuls, capfuls, bucketfuls, and even a pocketful. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Appletree, for all you've done for us. And now back to the farmhouse, where there's more cider to drink and there's coffee and food and things to buy. And thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Clive, for welcoming us here, wherever you are.
You're listening to the award-winning UK Business Podcaster of the Year. This is the Outdoor Station.
And although there wasn't very much music there from the Morris Men, they were in fact the Faithful City Morris Men, who are well known in these parts. And for people outside of the UK who doesn't understand what a Morris Man is, it's a long one to try and explain that, but it's a very, very old tradition. And it would be better if you looked at pictures, really, because if I described it as a bunch of fully grown, mature men leaping around with bells attached to their ankles, waving handkerchiefs and sticks in the air, you'd probably think I was mad. But it's a wonderful tradition and something I think we should be proud of. It's nice to be unusual. Has anybody ever seen that film? What was it called? It was absolutely hilarious. Was it called Extreme Morris Men? Extreme... It was a very, very incredibly dry comedy about Morris Men, and this one particular one who was a freestyle Morris man, and he got kicked out of the UK circles and went to America, and it became super famous. But it's so dry, I'll have to try and dig it out. If I find it, I'll put it on the show notes when I refer to it. So let's have a few feedback, a couple of emails here that we've had in, which is very nice. I just thought I'd say my thanks to the people. Obviously, I printed them out this time. That's the difference. let's have the first one from Steve Riley, who's written recently. We're looking forward to walking the Ribble Valley Way in May for our 3rd wedding anniversary. Yet another of Bob's podcast inspiration from yonks ago. And that's from Steve and Steph Riley. Thank you very much, you two. And I hope your wedding anniversary is enjoyable. I would say take a recorder, but you might have other things on your mind. Now, who's this from? This is from Rob Sandercock. Thanks for your advice, Bob. I can't remember what it was, but there you go. You're welcome. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to reply to me. Your podcasts are a real escapism and also an inspiration for me. I wish I had a recorder when I spent a wild week camping on Barra or walking the Peddars Way on Norfolk Coast Path. With a baby due any day now, I have to balance between being a new dad and a new podcaster. Many thanks and wish me luck. Oh yeah, that's Rob. Now Rob's planning to start doing some podcasts. So as soon as you do that, Rob, let us know and we'll promote the fact. And of course, we all wish you the very best with your new baby. And I hope that all goes well. Now we have one here from Jack Vanderbill. I think it's a Dutch surname, so excuse me, Jack, who is in Australia. Found you via podcast number 315. I live in Perth, Western Australia, and have done much of the Arbibelman track. That was the one I talked to the girls about. It sounded fantastic. I'm looking forward at going more ultralight before going on to do the Appalachian Trail with my 23-year-old son in 2012, hopefully. I find your site excellent. Keep up the contact, and if anybody needs a track angel for UK walkers to come and do the bib track, please get in touch. So if everybody wants to put in touch with Jack, then send me an email and I'll pass it on. And of course that email address is info@theoutdoorstation.co.uk. And the final one is from Robert Aston. Just bought some products from you to use on my first mountain marathon. I'm normally an orienteer, but having listened to your OMM podcasts, I've been inspired to do my first one. I will be doing the Saunders event in 2011. Many thanks and all the best. Oh, and finally, just a quick one here from Pete C. Just to let you know, your podcasts make my day. Really enjoy the content and the gear reviews are great. Well, I do try and mix and match it all together. Thank you very much indeed for the feedback, folks. I really appreciate that. And of course, anybody wants to give us feedback, do drop us a line on the email. I'm always welcome, and it's lovely to know the listeners are enjoying it. Now, talking about enjoying things, let us go to Beth, who recorded this piece, which I found just generally quite interesting. Most people, I'm sure, will have travelled further afield these days, and Asia is, of course, one of the great nations where you can pick up a bargain. But when you do your haggling, there is always that little nagging doubt in the back of your mind that, you're doing it wrong, either too aggressively, or you should have haggled more, or they're really taking the mick on the price, or you don't want to offend, and so on. And so Beth was over there with one of her work colleagues, Jurapan, who is Thai, and Jurapan took her through the general rules, if you like, the unwritten rules on how to haggle in Thailand's biggest market.
So it's midday and we're in Bangkok on a Sunday, which means it's market day. I'm here with Jurapan, who's a friend showing me around the market. And which market are we at? Because I can't say it.
Well, we are at the Jatujak market, which is actually weekend market. Happen on Saturday and Sunday. It's a market where you can come to buy everything from toothpick up to giant saucepans. So anything you can imagine, and it's also the market that you can just come and expect for bargains.
And so is it a place that Thai people come as well as Westerners?
Oh yes, yeah, you will see, Thai people they start very early from 5 o'clock in the morning throughout in the evening. So there's a lot of people who come to do buying like wholesales as well. So, they might actually have a shop in a different province, but this is the place where they just come every once a month or twice a month. They just come to get a really, really good price, and then they can just double on when they actually go back to their shop. So it's a great place to come. The only downside is very hot.
Very, very hot. I'm sweating it even in the shade. And so that's really the main thing when you ask to bargain for things. It's the numbers that you get that's kind of key to how much you can bargain. Is that correct?
Well, that's right. It's depending on what you buy and the quantity as well. You know, if you only just buy, for example, one small things, the price, you always have to presume that the price they actually give you in the first place, especially if you're a foreigner.
What does that mean, just so people know?
Oh, wow. Especially if you're not Thai people.
Is that what foreigner means?
Yes.
If someone says that?
Yes,
yeah.
Farang, basically. You know, if you are Farang, you will always expect the price will be 20% on top of the price that you can bargain down. So never afraid to actually try to bargain. The key about bargaining is always keep a very big smile, as big as you can when you bargain. So you know that they might actually give it to you if you actually ask them nicely. The other thing is, though, if you actually see the price and you're thinking to yourself that it's actually very cheap, you can try a bit. But if it's really quite small thing and it's quite small price, normally they can't actually drop that much more than they're actually selling, especially if they sell a particular object that maybe 10 other shops sell as well, so they can't really just add that much price, otherwise you just walk away. So there are a few sorts of tips about bargaining. So if you really, really want it and you try quite hard already and you think that the price should actually go a bit lower, the key is to try to actually bargain, and if they said no, just walk away. Try to walk away. Often they will actually pull you back and say, all right then, we can give you this much, and you actually can get it. So,
but it's knowing when to enough is enough, because obviously people do need to make a living, and as you said, if it's a small item and it's already quite cheap, actually it's not very polite to keep bargaining and not actually let them earn a living.
You can actually bargain with smile, but don't push it too hard. If they already just come to the final price, and that's the minimum that they can go for. Don't keep pushing, because if you keep pushing too much, then could easily upset Thai people. So Thai people, they're very friendly and very charming, but you don't want to step on the wrong foot, because they wouldn't actually give you a very nice smile that they actually give you in the beginning. So just try a bit, but not really pushy.
That sounds good. And so what actually can be bartered for? Because I was talking to Alex and another friend here in Bangkok, and he was saying that it's possible to bargain not only on markets but actually in shops as well. You can actually bargain in pretty much everywhere they sell stuff. The only place that I wouldn't probably bargain is the shopping mall, where the price is already fixed. You wouldn't actually go and bargain for that. But if the market that's they call it outdoor market, where they actually see things that sell outside on the street, then you can always bargain, and they expect you to bargain. So if they actually tell you 250 baht and you say okay, let's buy it, they will be very surprised if you're not actually bargaining. So just go for it. And so in other occasions, if two people are getting a massage, or if you're staying 3 nights at a hotel, on those occasions, are you able to do it then?
No, that's the price for the hotel for the massage is normally the fixed price. Especially you go somewhere that look quite, with something like that, you actually want to go somewhere that look quite reasonable. You don't really want to go somewhere where you think that you can bargain, because of if you bargain too much, then you get what you paid for. So you actually end up with something a little bit less value than you actually spend on.
And the other thing I noticed whilst we were going around the markets, because as Jirapan said, there's loads of clothes, there's trinkets, there's pictures, food, pots and pans, anything. Is that the clothes? Obviously, you're hot and sweaty and you're walking around, so you don't try things on. You just kind of hold them up. But we got to a jeans store, and I noticed that people were like putting the jeans around their necks. What was that about?
Well, that's the way the Thai people naturally check whether they can wear that jeans. So the way that I actually learned from I was very young age as well, pick up the trouser or jean thing, and just pick up the waist bit of the jeans, put it around your neck, and that's pretty much actually quite accurate that you can actually wear this. These only apply if you got quite sort of flat tummy. So if you actually get quite big belly thing, it wouldn't apply. You probably have to actually time it by 10s.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Drink too much beer, then that's happened.
So basically, the key thing when you are bargaining is have a big smile, be reasonable, because obviously, you do want to get a bargain,
yes.
but equally, people have got to have an income
yes.
from it.
Yes.
And just try, and if you really want it, then you can try as much as you want.
Well,
But
the thing is, if you the other thing is where you can bargain more if you buy this market. If you buy thing like 3 or 4 items, then you can get a bit cheaper, because they will have two different prices. They will have a wholesale price and retail price. So the wholesale price in some shops, you will get the wholesale price. You buy more than 3 items, so you can actually drop like 50%. But if you just buy 1 item, it's a bit more expensive. So often as well, Thai people, and they will come together, like friends coming together, go into one shop, and then one of them wants one T-shirt, the other might want another one. So they actually end up buying 3-4 T-shirts, and you got 50% off. So if you come by yourself, you just pay the full price. So that's lots of time that people do that as well.
yeah, that's right. We did that earlier when we bought some peelers. There's a really cool peeler here that basically means you peel a carrot, but you get very thin strips.
Yes.
I was very enamoured with it at your house, so we bought some. But you wanted some as well. So
Yes.
by buying 12, we actually got the price dropped quite dramatically, which
Yes.
is so that's the main thing, really. So
quantity as well as a price is come together. If you just buy 1 or buy 10, then you get very different price. Like the earring we actually seen, the 1 pair of earrings got like 250 baht, but if you buy 10 pairs, then the price gone down to 100 baht per pair. So you can see a big difference. That's why this market where the wholesale can actually make their money, they have to come and buy lots of quantity and then just make the money of that.
yeah, so I mean, just to give an example, I bought a silk tie earlier, which was 240 baht, and 199.
Oh, 199, yes.
And I asked for 180, so just knocking 20 baht off, which isn't a lot,
No.
but it does make a difference, and it's not so much that it's going to really affect the retailer.
The other thing about bargaining with Thai people is almost become a culture. Even you just get 5 baht off, you will feel pretty happy with yourself that I actually get 5 baht off, rather than you have to pay the full price. So it's almost like a little technique for the sellers as well. They actually put the price up and they know how much they can go down, because they know that if they actually drop a little bit or happy to say yes, okay, I will sell you for that price, then they know they can sell stuff. If they actually stand firm on their feet, they know that they're going to lose a customer. So I think the buyer and the seller know how to play the things.
So it's just a bit of practice. If you're coming over here, and to be honest, this is a fantastic place to do it, because there's just so much to see and so much to buy, and I seem to walk around every corner and be like, oh, I get this and get that, and suddenly we've been here for a few hours and I've got several bags. But there we go. Well, thank you very much for showing me the ropes.
No problem at all. Pleasure. Well, the other thing as well, you want to come to this market, try to come reasonably early, because of the heat is make you feel like you're actually going to faint it after you are walking around for an hour, plus the number of people increases as well. So start a little bit earlier when it's cooler.
And which part of town is it in?
It's in the north ends of the town, so It's called Jatujak Market. You can travel here by the BTS as well, depending on where you come.
And is that the Sky Train?
It's SkyTrain, yes. So the Jatujak station is basically right at the end of the North Line. So they're actually just one line, but one is go to the south, one is go to the north. So if you just come toward the north, you are last stop, the BTS.
And then you can come and do some bargaining like we are.
If you have any feedback, questions or suggestions, why not drop us a line, either on Facebook or directly to our email address, info@theoutdoorstation.co.uk.
Bringing you more about the outdoors world.
Well, not exactly backpacking, hiking sort of information interview, but I thought it'd be interesting all the same. And thanks to Beth and Jurapan for taking the time to explain how it should be done without causing offence, which I think is always useful. So a bit of a mixed bag in this podcast this time. Finally, I wanted to finish off on something which I've become aware of. I'm not too sure if you might have seen it, but a few weeks back in January, on the front of the Backpacking Light website, we had some pictures from satellite regarding the light pollution, which how it's developed and changed over the last 10 and 20 years over the UK and Europe, and it's terrifying to see that all the dots are starting to grow together. Anyway, as an aside, I received a leaflet from the World Wildlife Fund, and they are promoting something called Earth Hour. So if you're interested or concerned about light pollution and obviously the effect that it has on us, and certainly I think most people who are into outdoor activities when they enjoy complete solitude, and that includes light pollution solitude as well, it's certainly nice to be able to see the sky again, and you realise just how much of it's bouncing around our neighbourhood, as it were. Anyway, going back to this, join us for World Wildlife Fund's Earth Hour, 8:30 p.m. on the 26th of March 2011. On Saturday the 26th of March 2011 at 8:30, the global skyline will be plunged into darkness for the world's biggest call for action on the threats facing our planet. From London to Sydney, New York to Singapore, people all across the world will switch off their lights for World Wildlife Fund Earth Hour 2011 to show that they care about tackling climate change and protecting the natural world. It's a message to world leaders that they need to take urgent action, and a reminder to us all that we only have one planet Earth. Now, I reckon it would be pretty interesting to be somewhere high at that stage, looking down on the on civilization, shall we say, and just see how many people actually turn their lights off and what impact it makes. But if you want to know more about it, now listen carefully to this, because the address does sound a bit odd. Think of the letters for World Wildlife Fund. It's wwf.org.uk/Earth Hour. So that's wwf.org.uk/Earth Hour if you're interested in more details about that or participating in your own way. Right, well, that pretty well brings this to a close. Thanks everybody for contributing. Thanks for everybody for their emails they sent through. If you want to suggest anything or send any emails or ask perhaps any questions for people that I will be perhaps interviewing when I go to some of these shows later on in the year, then please do so and send them through to us on info@theoutdoorstation.co.uk. Right, well, that pretty well just leaves me to say farewell. Thanks very much for listening. Thanks very much for joining. Sorry about the delay. I shall do my utmost to reduce it next time and get more regular podcasts going, because I do know that people enjoy these. All the best now. Safe travels, and, well, enjoy the longer days, the birds singing in the morning, and the lighter nights. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. To hear more from our extensive free library, please visit the website at theoutdoorstation.co.uk.
You can now follow The Outdoor Station on Facebook, where we chat about each programme we produce, answer questions and discuss future productions. Why not join us there?
This podcast is produced and hosted by theoutdoorstation.co.uk.